So I admit I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt, so that when I had an emergency, I had money set aside. So when my son's glasses break, I could actually get him new ones. I can't do any of that right now. My car broke down, and so I'm in a friend's car just to work, to continue living paycheck to paycheck. I knew it was going to be hard, and that it wasn't going to come fast. I just wish that things would work out better. I really regret that everything is taking so long, because there's so much pushback, because I don't even know the reasons anymore. I don't understand why good things have to be trampled on. I don't know why good people have to be trampled on. I don't want a lot. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to not live paycheck to paycheck. I just want to be able to live and work. I work 7 days a week to not even make ends meet sometimes, and my car broke down, and I have a few $1,000s worth of repairs to do on it. My son's glasses broke, and I can't even take him to the eye doctor. I just want to get past the hard part. I want to get to the part where it's not just crippling. I know he's working on it. I know that it's gonna get better, and that it wouldn't have been any better with anybody else. I just really needed things to start working again. They're still not. I mean, I owe more in taxes this year, which is just more debt that I can't pay. And I have to pay. It's just another $100 or so a month that I can't afford. So no, I guess I really don't regret voting for Donald Trump. I just regret that his changes didn't come sooner. I just need relief. I need the good things to start coming. I know it's coming. I just need it sooner rather than later right now. Good vibes, everybody. Thank you. And yeah, thanks.
So now I've actually upgraded from losing my family on Christmas to now losing some of my friends, because they have gone so far off the deep left end that now they're convinced that anyone who voted for Trump is like a fascist, everything else they call us, and They don't even want me around, like, in the friend group. I just want to preface this by saying we don't talk politics in my friend groups. We don't do anything like that. We barely discuss, like, our opposing ideals at all. Yet they cut me off literally just because of a vote. Something I did that took 5 minutes to do. Something, apparently that's now ruined my whole life. I've lost my family and I've lost my friends. They've split up people and divide us, and I'm tired of it.
I texted my best friend of 14 years, literally half of my life. I'm 28, and I asked them who they voted for. They said Donald Trump, and they said, I'm assuming you voted the opposite, and I said yes. And then my friend texted me and said, will you still be my friend?
So I got rid of all of my MAGA friends in 2020 election. I didn't have anyone that was outright MAGA, but I did have friends who wouldn't tell me who they were voting for, and then I would see them in Donald Trump's likes. I had friends who told me they didn't vote at all, and those are people I no longer associate with. And from 2020 until now, until like 2024 election, I still remained tolerating cousins and family friends who voted for Trump, only because I felt like it's not really my choice to keep these relations. Like, you're my family, or like, you're my family friend, you're like close friends with my parents. Like, it's not really up to me. Like, I'll tolerate you, I'll see you when there's a family gathering, whatever the case may be. But then after the 2024 election, I obviously crashed the fuck out. I like blocked all of these family friends and cousins I had on social media because I actually don't fuck with you anymore. And a lot of these people are like older than me and don't even know I blocked them. So like, I guess it's not really doing much, but it's very much one-sided beef that maybe they don't know about. And sometimes I'll think I'm being like dramatic, like, oh, like, this is someone I love. This is someone who was like a second father to me my whole life. And, he's getting older. Like, if he dies, like, am I going to regret that, like, I just don't speak to him or see him anymore? And then I see videos of ICE kidnapping people on the street. I see that they're discussing, the overturning of gay marriage. And it's like, how the fuck does anyone remain cordial with literally anyone on that side? I also feel like we got to this point because we didn't ostracize these people enough in 2016, and they just thought like, hey, yeah, I could get by in life being a really fucking shitty person. And I just feel like enough is enough. Like, these people don't deserve respect. They don't deserve friendships. They don't deserve anything meaningful and good in life. Truly, genuinely.
Hi. I'm feeling a little better today than I was yesterday. More productive, at least. But I've seen a lot of things on my feed about people that voted for Donald Trump or voted against, the Democratic Party, which is totally your right to do. Completely understand that that's what you had to do. But I've seen a lot of people like posting and reposting things that say that like politics should not ruin relationships and friendships and things like that. And while I personally try really hard not to let politics ruin relationships that I've built over the last 35 years, I can 100% understand why some people would no longer want to continue with those relationships. And I wanted to shed a little light for those that did vote the other way around on why that is. And the best example I can think of, because I've been trying to come up with a good way to relay that information that's in my head, is when you vote for Donald Trump, or when you vote for the Republican Party, who have been basically screaming against a lot of different minority groups, pretty much everybody besides white, straight men in America. And that's just a fact. That's the truth of the matter. If you want, go watch the comedian that they had on stage a couple days before the election. That'll tell you exactly what you didn't know about what they think about lots of different groups of people. But when you vote for somebody like that, it feels like a personal attack to those groups of people, because you are actively voting for somebody that is actively trying to take away their rights. For example, as a woman in the United States, I no longer have rights that I had 5 to 10 years ago, and that is because the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade. There is nothing stopping the Republican Party from voting against immigrants, LGBTQ people in that community. For example, when you vote for Trump, you vote against my sister's right to be married to a woman, and also their right to procreate. And that's just a personal example from my end, which I'm not okay with. And I feel like a lot of people on that side also feel like they are religious exemption. They're doing what's right. They're doing what's morally right because of their religion. But not everybody is the same religion as you either. So if I can put into perspective why some of your friends and family are no longer going to be in your life because of the way that you voted, it's because you voted for somebody that is actively trying to hurt them in more than just a you have to pay a little bit more for groceries way, or blanking on another policy that I can think of that people would vote in that direction, minus like border security and things like that. But Biden secured the border just fine. He did more than Trump did for the border, minus the wall, which still hasn't completely been built yet. So things like that. And it's when you try to hide behind religious moral standards as your reasoning for voting for someone, it doesn't negate the fact that you are hurting a large group of people in this country. Actually, majority of people in this country, if you count women, minority groups, LGBTQ community, all of that. So I feel like it's been weighing on me that people are so dumbfounded that their friends and family would let politics get in between them. And the problem is, it's not politics. It is a difference in moral fiber between people who want what's best for everyone and people who only want what's best for themselves, or is only fitting into the narrative that they've created, most of the time based on religious preference. And there's a lot of different religions out there. There are a lot of different people in this country, in this world. America was founded on being a melting pot. All of us come from immigrants, unless you are Native American. And so that's just something that maybe would be a good thing to reflect on. Absolutely vote for whoever you feel aligns most with your morals. And that's what happened in this election. Completely fine, because that is our right. But you cannot expect people to not have opinions about that, or decide to distance themselves from you because they no longer feel safe. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, maybe talk to the friends and family that are distancing themselves from you, and see what you can do in the future to gain their trust back, because that's elementally what it comes down to. But thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I just had to get that out because it's been weighing on me for the last 48 hours, and I'm tired of seeing it on my feed, but I feel like there has to be like a response to it. So thanks for listening.
Well, now that I've lost my entire family because I'm a Trump supporter, who wants to be my family? Follow along on this crazy journey that's called my life. I'm Tiffany. I'm from Kentucky. My husband and I have 2 kids, none together. I have a 15-year-old son. He has a 7-year-old son. We have 2 dogs, a 10-year-old German Shepherd mix and a 2-year-old mini golden doodle. We also have 2 pigs that we're raising for meat. We just got 3 cows and have officially started our J&T Farms. I'm a stay-at-home wife. I say wife and not mom because I don't have any kids here during the day. And I used to do payroll and accounting. My husband owns his own business, and that's a concrete business. So I do all of the books for that. I enjoy thrifting. I'm not very good at doing my makeup. I enjoy reading murder mysteries and watching any kind of show that's a murder show. Trump supporter, and I believe that the elite should not have more presence in the news or in the world than poor people. That's just my take. So that's who I am. I do recipe videos. I do missing person videos to highlight missing people all throughout the United States instead of just Nancy Guthrie. I also do videos on cleaning, motivational cleaning videos, and I love to do laundry. So if any of that sparks your interest, go ahead and hit the follow button.
To those of you who have been losing friends, family, and followers over your voting decision this past Tuesday, I want to let you know that first and foremost, you are not alone. There are many of us. As a matter of fact, a majority of us in this country have been experiencing this, where we are either losing relationship, people are wanting to eradicate of us completely or change the dynamic of the relationship, etc. Secondly, and more importantly, I want to let you know that this is a gain in your life. This is a positive. It may not seem that way, especially if you have a mother or a brother, a sister, somebody who has been close to you your entire life, a best friend you knew since kindergarten, making a decision that they don't want to be in a relationship with you. This may be painful. It may be hard to understand and comprehend, but I promise you that this is a blessing in disguise. The people who leave you based upon conditions are conditional lovers, and love cannot be conditional. Therefore, they really never loved you in the first place, because they don't love themselves. What we're dealing with here is a form of narcissism, oftentimes referred to as covert narcissism. These individuals are grown children in adult bodies. They are toddlers in adult form. We're dealing with individuals who have never learned how to deal or to regulate their emotions in a healthy way. These individuals become unhinged when somebody disagrees with them. They see it as a threat. They're living in fight or flight. These are fear-based individuals. These are individuals who've been given over to propaganda, misinformation, and so they can't see clearly. And so again, I want to let you know that though this may be painful, it may be hard, and it may be the last thing that you wanted to happen, you're going to be better off for it. This is your personal journey. This is what it looks like now. And I want you to continue to stand for the truth and in your truth. No longer being the silent majority as we have oftentimes been. We will not be silenced.
Day 2 after the election results, and I gotta tell you, man, I lost like 13 friends. It's crazy to me. And these friends, I mean, we ate hot dogs together and watched fireworks. You know what I mean? We celebrated America and freedom. We shot all my guns, used up my freedom seeds, my 9mm bullets. And we had a good time. We all hung out. I never really said I was for which candidate, but obviously I just told you I liked freedom, so they kind of knew already. But then I'm waking up, checking my shit, and it's like, oh, where'd you go? Why'd you block me? Why am I getting blocked? What'd I do? I mean, my hot dogs and fireworks, they used to be great. Our conversations you used to love. You love shooting all my weapons. And then you found out I voted for Trump, and then you call me a racist. And then you say I hate women. I have 5 daughters, by the way, but I don't know, man. People are strange. Whatever. More freedom seeds for me, more hot dogs, and more firework joy.
Hey everyone. So I'm just here to help anyone out who doesn't understand why how you voted in the election is strictly a difference of opinion that we can all just go on with. So a difference of opinion is you like coffee and I like tea. Maybe you can't stand tea. I know I don't like coffee, but that's okay. Like, drink your coffee. I'm totally cool with it. And you're totally cool with me drinking tea. So I'm not forcing it on you. When you vote to outlaw tea and punish tea drinkers, that's no longer opinion. You've acted on that opinion to put yourself above tea drinkers. And now, because I'm a tea drinker, my life's in danger. because I could be punished just for liking tea. So that's not a difference of opinion. You've made an action. You've made an action that's endangered my life and the lives of so many other people. So it's not a difference of opinion. You've made an action. And the consequence is that there are some people who are not going to be friends with you anymore. And there's some people who aren't going to have a relationship with you anymore. And the reason for that is because we don't trust you. You voted to put yourself above us and to punish us. That's not an opinion, that's an action. I have the right to make myself feel safe. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making myself feel safe. I'm making the other people around me who are now in danger, I'm making a safe space for them too. So this is not an opinion. You took action, and these are the consequences for your actions. If you don't like the consequences of your actions, one, you're not alone. And two, it's your actions that have to be looked at by you. And I wish you luck with that.
On the morning of November 4th, I sent my brother a message. This was a day before the election. I sent my brother a message that I had been postponing for anywhere upwards to like 2 to 3 years at that point. Now, just a little backstory is on the Christmas of 2016, me and my brother got in a huge fight when I was essentially looking to defend Trump. And this was at a time when I was still really discovering exactly what was going on as far as, the propaganda and things of that nature. And my brother was, he's one of them like BLM activist sort of guys. But years after, we were able to patch things up, mostly because we didn't talk politics at all. And I don't know if he actually knew where I stood politically. Well, now I realize that he didn't. But I hid that part of myself away in order to quote unquote salvage the relationship, until finally realizing that me hiding such a crucial aspect of who I was, my value system, meant that I was being inauthentic in our relationship. And that, if I was hiding who I was, then was this relationship valid to begin with? Not saying that I will, stop loving my brother, or maybe you would stop loving me, but if you have to be somebody else in a relationship in order for that relationship to be sustained, then do you have a relationship at all? So I started asking myself these questions throughout the years, and finally came to this decision where I said, you know what, cat's out the bag. I don't want to live like this anymore. When it comes to, the public, I put out basically a message signaling to the world who I'd voted for, and lost 1,500 followers on IG in the sequence of like 2 to 3 days. But the one that was the most piercing was obviously with my brother, who sent me a brief message. And basically he was saying, he needed a break from me, is essentially what he said without saying that, right? Well, I'm just going to need a break until sometime later next year. And I said, okay, do what you must, basically. And this is the message I want to send out to anybody out there, because I've gotten countless messages of people who have, had family members, mothers losing their children with their parents, etc., to something that seems as basic or as surface level as a vote. And this is what I want to say to you guys is, I understand the pain that comes from, that sort of rejection or loss. But I also want to make this clear. Is any relationship in which you have to be somebody other than who you are in any aspect is an unfulfilled relationship. It's an inauthentic relationship. If somebody will only accept you so long as you hide aspects of yourself, there is no relationship. I know I had to come to this conclusion after, denying it time and time again, to say, well, you can just don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. It's like, if you're a person of faith and that is a huge part of who you are, and you feel you have to hide that in order for somebody to accept you, or vice versa, there's no relationship. It's inauthentic. And so I want to send a message to everybody who is in a place where they are afraid to come out of that conservative closet, right? I know Trump's vote has been really a symbol of something much greater, much deeper, which is this aspect of I have values that I stand for that, are so valuable, so important to me that I'm willing to stand on them, even if it means the rejection of the people around me, the culture around me, the society around me, etc. That's what that really meant. I'm willing to go against the establishment, the status quo, or whatever it may be. But with that may very well come the rejection from the people who are or were once closest to you. And unfortunately, when somebody is bought into a lie this deep, when somebody is given over to a cult-like ideology, there's no way to break the spell until they make the decision to step out of that mind frame. It's going to be a personal journey for these individuals. There's healing that they have to go through, self-discovery, right? They have to grow up. And you can hold space for those individuals. And really, the most you can do is stand as an example for them. You can't save them from themselves, but don't neglect yourself in the process of that. Don't leave yourself behind in order to make somebody else feel comfortable. You're not responsible for that person's emotions. You're not responsible for that individual's life or the decisions that they make. And if they're making self-destructive decisions, it's painful, but sometimes, again, the most you can do is hold space, act as an example, and continue to move through life in such a way. That's the most loving thing that you can do. Trying to enable them or to save them or to convince them is coercion. It's manipulation. It's really what they're trying to do with any of us. So that's my 2 cents for the moment.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So my amazing returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion and decide to subscribe for more reaction and commentary videos. So after watching this clip, it is easy to understand why it has generated so much discussion online. In the video, several people who identify as Trump supporters talk about experienced strained relationship with friends and family because of political disagreement. Some say they've been unfriended on social media. Others describe family gathering becoming intense, and a few explain that people they were once close to no longer speak to them the way they used to. At the same time, the video also includes people on the other side who said their decision to distance themselves wasn't simply because someone voted differently. According to them, it was a constant political argument, disagreements over important issue or change in the relationship that led them to step away. As you can imagine, there are very different perspectives on why this relationship have changed. What makes this video interesting is that it highlights how politics has become deeply personal to many few people. For some, political differences are something that can set aside. For others, those differences affect value they consider fundamental, making it much harder to separate politics from personal relationship. One thing that stands out is that these situations are rarely simply every friendship and every family relationship has its own history. A short viral clip can capture every conversation or every reason why people grow apart. That is why it's important to avoid assuming that one person's experience represents everyone else. So that's just my own reaction. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and as always, let's keep the discussion respectful. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.